Okay, hopefully this is synced up in good time. I'm going back to the voice memo style because I think it gives better quality of audio. Okay, we have a lot of things to talk about. And I was kind of going back and forth on touching on this subject. Makes me nervous to talk about, but I don't want to be nervous. I don't want to hold back from talking about something on here because I'm nervous how people are going to take it. Because in my heart, nothing I'm going to say is meaning to offend anyone or to be insensitive or anything, but I'd really like to share my experience with what happened recently in the community. Recently, we lost a student, and I want to share my own experience with that and my thoughts, and I understand that everyone else's experience is completely different, and my thoughts and prayers truly go out to his family, and that's no mother, brother, father should have to deal with that situation. It's sick and so unfortunate, and I just want to share my experience and my thoughts and how that's been, how that impacted my surroundings. And yeah, that's awful. I want to start by saying my initial reaction was confusion. So his name was Carson Robbins, and he was in my grade, and he was a really good person, and he had a good heart, and he was so funny. I unfortunately did not get to know him super well, and so when he died, I just felt super confused. And whenever somebody of a young age, or an age that, to me, like, if you're under 50 years old and you die, this just, like, reminds you and, like, shakes that belief of, like, people can die. And as somebody who hasn't dealt with a lot of death in my life, I don't, like, knock on wood, but none of my family hasn't gone through, like, a death or a mourning. I've only really had extended relatives pass away, nothing that's been, like, earth-shattering, like, and see, this is such a sensitive topic. I'm just saying I have not dealt with an extreme death, or like in a way that made me feel immense amounts of grief, okay? So whenever somebody dies, it makes me feel anxious and it makes me feel scared, because I don't like that that people can just break this agreement I thought everyone has in their head, which is we don't die. Like, let's not die, you know what I mean? And Carson, unfortunately, died. And it just doesn't make sense, because it doesn't seem like he should be able to, because he was my age and he was well, and he was, if that makes sense, it doesn't seem like something that should be able to happen. And that's what feels hard, and it makes me feel nervous that anyone could just break this thing. And also, it made me do a lot of thinking about how we think about our life and the way we go about planning. I don't know how much I'm going to keep this in. I don't know if I'm going to watch this back and think this makes no sense, but it also made me think so much about how we see the future and finding a balance in between. We only live once, like, every day could be our last, and, like, you never know about tomorrow. And then also thinking, how do I live now so that way when I'm 60 years old, I'm happy and healthy and well, and balancing this. Life is so long, but also life is so, so short. Like, it's just such a hard thing to balance and live by, and that's so interesting to me. And it's interesting to hear other people's perspectives on how they think about life and the way they go about it in either way. So yeah, luckily our school did a phenomenal job of supporting students. I feel like there was plenty of support at the school, and we didn't have school on the day of his viewing, which was wonderful, because everyone on his funeral, which meant like anyone who wanted to go was able to go without the stress of school. That was important. I think as a community, there's just this like overhead sense of loss. But I think everybody's been doing a good job of being there for each other. So I wanted to say that because that's something that happened, and I don't want to just ignore it, and I don't want to be scared to talk about it just because it's a scary topic. Death is a scary topic. And I always say, like, I'm not personally scared to die. I'm not scared to die. If you told me I was going to die tomorrow, that would be very shocking and obviously, like, crazy. But I'm not scared about death itself. I think what's scary is that other people can just die. And it makes me feel extra grateful that all of my loved ones are here and I'm able to communicate with them and they're here and I can still experience this life with them. So that's really special, and I'm so, so grateful. And I'm so grateful for everyone's health and my own health. And yes, I'm grateful and blessed. Moving on from that topic, I feel like there's been so many new opportunities in my life, and I would like to talk about that a little bit because for some reason I feel very attractive, like I feel like I'm attracting a lot of really cool opportunities lately, which is dope. And it's cool to start seeing my life kind of happen. And looking forward, I'm thinking about like there's a cool internship opportunity I'm really excited about, and there's a cool volunteer opportunity I'm going to get involved in, and that's so exciting to start watching my life unravel and happen, and that's really cool. I would say that these opportunities have really found me, and that's what's even cooler is that I haven't been on the hunt for things. I haven't been searching. Things have just kind of fallen in my lap, and I know this means I have attracted them in some way, and like I believe in the law of attraction so much, and I'm just so grateful that I've been able to have these things come to me in perfect timing. Also, I believe in divine timing and everything like that. It's just really interesting, and I'm so grateful. Like there's an internship opportunity next summer at a retreat center I'm thrilled about, and I'm hoping and praying that it works out because there's nothing I would be more honored more honored to serve than these people at this retreat center. And also, I just had a meeting today with a volunteer group, a nonprofit organization leader, about helping them and how I could be of service to them. And that's so fulfilling to me. And it's surrounding sustainability, which is something I've been passionate about for so long. And and when things like that come about, and it brings so much hope. It brings hope. It feels like there's being solutions. And I don't know about you guys, and I don't know how spiritual you are over there, but I have felt like I think there's been so much shift in the global consciousness. Maybe I'm just being surrounded by it. Maybe I'm just in an environment that is surrounded by people and beliefs that are supporting this idea, but I seriously am seeing everywhere, like more solutions, more awake people, aware people, really conscious people. And it's really, really cool to see. And anyway, this nonprofit organization also is trying to bring more sustainability to our community, and it's beautiful, and I support them, and I'm so excited to be able to help them in any way possible. And again, this opportunity came to me, and I just feel like, I don't know, one of my favorite prayers that Gabby Bernstein, she's a spiritual teacher, talks about is saying to the universe, how can I be of service? And she probably got this from A Course in Miracles, but just truly sitting with you and asking up to the universe and offering up you and saying, how can I be of service, is so powerful. And I think that's maybe what landed me these opportunities. It's just putting it out there that I'm open to offering what I can bring to other groups and people and ideas and collaboration. Anyway, so life opportunities are crazy. I don't know. I think I'm going to do an entire different video about college, and I'm going to save that for later. But another thing I really wanted to talk about today, or like, this is just this podcast, not even this is a podcast, but it's kind of just like sitting with me, talking with me, chatting with me, is like what's been going on in my life. Like these are just turning into like, this is what's happening in my life. These are things on my mind. I need a title for this, like this series of me sitting and talking to the camera. So if you have any good ideas, comment, because I have no idea what I'm going to call this, and I actually don't know what I'm going to title this video. But anyway, another thing that I've been thinking a lot about is friends, and also loneliness, but friends, loneliness, and that kind of area. Because recently I've had a little bit of been in a little bit of a pickle with something revolving a friendship of mine. And it's made me think. And things it's made me think about is like how strange high school is. And like, I don't think people tell middle school and high schoolers enough that like, these people don't have to be your people. You know what I mean? They can be. That's awesome. But they really don't have to be. And like, these people, we've just been planted and we've been grouped with these people randomly because our parents live here. And you think that your best friend forever is sitting next to you. Like, maybe not. And also, this was fascinating to me last year when I was taking AP psychology, and I learned about how we oftentimes form relationships out of convenience, and how we really probably wouldn't be best friends with a lot of people if maybe we didn't sit next to them or didn't have like 4 classes with them, if that makes sense. And that's just normal human psychology. There's nothing wrong with us for doing that. It's just truthfully what we do. Like, sometimes we form relationships out of convenience. Like, we might as well be best friends with our coworker, or like we're more likely to maybe get along because we're going to see them every single day. So we're more likely to form a relationship there. Anyway, I just think, and like, I have formed my favorite relationship in this whole wide world. My best female friendship, Sophia, didn't go to the same high school as me, and she's actually from a different country, and like, it's just bizarre. And and not that your person can't be in your own high school, but I'm saying like the chances, and like, I just hope that like as everybody kind of grows up and moves out of high school and goes on to meet thousands of new people instead of being in this building stuck with the same like 700, 800, that everyone finds their people. And I hope that everybody finds their Sophia, because it is the most fulfilling and incredible thing in my life, is my female friendship, and someone that you can call, text, count on, need advice from, need someone to listen to, like jam out with, laugh, cry, everything. Like, I just hope everyone finds their human on this earth, because it has changed my life, and I'm so grateful for her every single day, and she knows this. And Sophia, if you're watching this, I love you with my whole heart. She knows that. We've talked on the phone like 3 times today. Anyway, I think sometimes a lot of people, and I think I've had to let go. I think I've had to do a lot of like letting go of the fact that maybe the people in this building aren't for me, and I don't need to form relationships to feel less alone with these people. And that I'm not a loner, but like maybe other people would say that about me. I don't know, because I've kind of, especially since, what was that, my junior year, beginning of my junior year, maybe my sophomore year, I don't know, I've definitely been more of I don't need to be friends with these people just to make me feel less alone. I can just have no friends. And and my mom had sent me an interesting video the other day about even having friends. Like, what does it even mean to have friends? And like, why is that a thing of ownership? And like, can't we just be in relationship with people? I don't know, but it's interesting, and it's so, I don't know. Maybe I'm just saying this to cope with the fact that I have no friends at school, but I'm serious. Like, I've run out. I think if you would have told me like 2 years ago that I would have no friends in high school, I would be so depressed, but I'm really actually okay. And also it's made me go on an entire journey of like what it is to be whole on your own, and like how to live so whole that people can come like in and out of your life and you remain happy or not. What? But how to remain happy or at peace at least. And it also reminds me that like the only person you'll always have is yourself. And yeah, like Sophia, I know, like I love her for life and like dependable and she's incredible. But like truly, who do I have all the time forever? Me, my source, my light, like if that makes sense. And so building that relationship with yourself, how can you depend on yourself better? How can you form a relationship? How can you be kinder to yourself? Because I think for so long I was so scared to be alone. So scared to be alone. There was a time where being alone would make me want to cry, like really emotional and really sad, made me feel depressed. And I don't understand where that emotional dependency came from or where that like root it was. And I don't know maybe it's because I've always been in like relationships since I was young. Like not like, well, since I've always had like maybe a boyfriend that I could always have. Like I could always call, they'd always be texting me. I always had boyfriends throughout school. So maybe that caused my like emotional dependency. But anyway, there was a time like last year around this time, a year ago today, that it was like, I'm terrified to have nobody. And that is what caused so much growth and like so much self-discovery and so much self-reflection and being able to be like, I don't need anybody. I actually don't need anyone to be okay. You can check on yourself. You can do kind things for yourself. Are relationships such a core part of my life? Yes. But what will always now stand first and like be dependent on first is me. Like I know I have myself. I know that I can be alone, and that if these people, and I think this has to do with identity and ego too. I think and my mom taught me this when I was young, is that like we put so much identity and ego into who we are friends with or who we are dating or who we are in relationship with. And if you take those things away, are you still yourself? And like growing up, always in relationships, maybe I always thought like, oh yeah, I'm blank's girlfriend. And that's a part of my identity because that's a part of who I was. Like, that's a part of like how I was daily. Like that was a part of my life. Like, you know, being in a relationship. And then I had to kind of disintegrate, like take that away, shed that thinking of being with a person is a part of who you are, because it's not. You are whole. You are who you are. And also like ego and identity, I could go on about that for days. I don't know. That's pretty spiritual though. And if you haven't, please read A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. It'll change your life. What else did I want to talk about today? Oh, I was talking about friends and how, I mean, you don't need them. They're really nice to have. I have a core girlfriend, and I have a few other incredible women in my life that I can always share with, call, talk to, and I'm so grateful for them too. Like I would say about 3 other women in my life that I'm like amazed by, and I am able to admire and call on and be taught from, and that's incredible. And also, it's just like once you find someone who does this, or once you find someone who's so incredible and so amazing, if you found that person, you'll know what I'm talking about. It puts so many other people to shame, and like it just makes other friendships and relationships, I'm talking like romantically and platonically, so hard because you're not like comparing them, but you're not the best. I don't know, that sounds so awful, but it's like true. It's like, why? I just have standards now. Like I have such high standards because I know that someone out there can treat me like this, be like this, like be this incredible. And I know everybody brings their own things to the table, and I'm open. But if I'm going to let somebody get close to me or have a close relationship with, they have to be like at this high standard because I already met somebody who's so incredible, it's just, anyway, I'm really interested in how making friends is going to go for me in college. I'm a very sociable person, and I'm obviously going to be open to making new friendships in college. I just hope I don't get wrapped up in not wanting to be alone in this new place and settle for people who don't inspire me. Because I truly, that's what fuels me, is being surrounded by people who inspire me and amaze me. And I really don't want to compromise that for not being alone in this new environment, because I'm going to go somewhere completely new with nobody and have to navigate that for the first time for the first time ever, for the first time in my life, which, yeah, that's that. Life's pretty good. I haven't been depressed, which is nice. I've still struggled with anxiety, but I think more recently, once I'm anxious, I'm able to I've been looking into IFS because my mom was talking about it, and then now I've kind of looked into it. It's like internal family systems. Hopefully I'm not botching that. But it's kind of learning about the different parts of you and now when I think about anxiety, I just think about that's a part of Scarlet, the protector, they call it. And when you're anxious about something, there's just a part of you that's protecting you. And that's such an easier way to look at it and just say, okay, it's okay. I hear you, and I know you're just trying to protect me, but you don't need to be this overwhelming for me right now. And I think looking at it that way has been very helpful. Thank you, Mom. I've been trying to read No Bad Parts, but it's a book. Maybe I'll put it up here, but I don't know if I like it that much. I actually really need to get back into reading. I really need to get back into practices. I don't know why I phase in and out of some things that I love so much. For example, I love gratitude and affirmations. I do it almost every single morning. But then there will be 2 weeks where I don't. And I'm just so confused why that happens. Because why? Because I literally love doing that. And what was I saying? Oh, reading. I love reading. I love reading so much. And I really love reading nonfiction. Fiction is good, but it's never incredible. Rarely has a fiction book been absolutely mind-blowing. But nonfiction blows my mind all the time. And I really need to get back into reading more nonfiction. So if you have any nonfiction books, specifically, I really like self-help and spiritual books, leave a comment, please, because I need a good one to read and revamp me. I actually was reading most recently the 7 Spiritual Laws of Success. I have it right here. And that one was pretty good, and I kind of want to do a video. I kind of want to do more videos about spiritual topics. I would love to do an entire deep dive into this book in each chapter, kind of like a book talk series, but I don't know. Would that be interesting for anybody? I don't know. I'm also thinking about prom lately. So going back to the fact that I have no friends at school is the problem of not having friends is not really an issue. It just becomes a little inconvenient when there's things to do, like prom. I don't know. I ended up going to homecoming. I have a homecoming vlog. You could go back and watch that. But what basically happened is I broke up with my boyfriend the week of my homecoming. And so then I kind of went to homecoming alone. And again, that's fine. I don't know. I don't know. I would prefer, I think, not to go to prom alone, but I know I could. That's just kind of a little stark. And I'm not trying to form any relationships with people. If that at school. I don't know what I'm going to do about prom. Honestly, you guys are in for a ride with that. I really don't know. I could go alone. That's just slightly dark. But it's not because I don't know. I could take a date. But who? I don't know. Throughout the rest of school, I've always had boyfriends to take to dances. always. I've always had a boyfriend. So it's not even like I was trying to find a date. And now, well, what's interesting is that I am also, yet again, in something that I don't want to mess up. I'm not going to, but I'm a part of something that requires, I don't know. Anyway, but the person that I would most want, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why I can't be completely transparent with you, because why not? Also, who's watching this? And another thing, friends kind of made inconvenient, having no friends at school made inconvenient, is just a lot of the end of the year senior activities. To be real, oh my god, so last year I didn't do powder puff because I don't remember why. Maybe I was depressed, but I didn't want to do powder puff. But then I went to the game and I was like, no matter what, you have to do powder puff next year. You have to, Scarlett. Talking to my future self. And then the time came to sign up and I didn't sign up, and I'm not doing it. And it's like I have a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of oh, am I missing out on something that everyone else is getting to be a part of? But I'm also I would probably hate it. Because no one there makes me feel seen, or, if that makes sense. I would probably hate every single part. Maybe it just sucks. Okay. Maybe it just sucks a little bit that I don't have close friends in high school, because that would make all of these fun activities fun. But instead, I don't want to do them and I avoid them. I was having a conversation with my little sister the other day. She's probably not watching this, but with my youngest sister. And we're talking and she's like, yeah, I just want to have a bunch of friends in high school, and talking about stuff I probably said as a middle schooler, but me and her are so alike. And I'm just you're probably not going to think that way by the end of your senior year, because I was the same way. I always thought having so many friends was so cool, and she wants to be president, you know what I mean? And this goes into her personality. She is a type 3, just like me, but I'm just that's crazy, because that was me. And now to just look, it was talking to my younger self and then looking at myself now, I'm that's crazy, because I literally don't care. Maybe I do care, but it doesn't matter. I have been doing pretty still okay with health and fitness. I literally skip lacrosse all the time. I'm so sorry to my team and coaches. I should really apologize, because I kind of am flaking out because I don't care. Also, I had this realization the other day, and this is not a novel or an extreme realization. I'm just saying that you really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. Is my camera dying? Oh, it's getting overheated. You really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. There's just simply consequences. But a lot of the time, you're not being forced to do anything. You just have pressure to do it. For example, could I have gone to lacrosse yesterday? Yes. Did I? No. I didn't want to. Are there going to be consequences for that? Probably. But is it worth it? Yeah. Because I didn't want to go. Guys, senioritis, I think I talked about this in my last video, but it's actually hitting an all-time problem. I mean, I'm not going to jeopardize my grades, right? I'm not going to jeopardize my diploma, but I am really not doing anything. Actually, I sit in class and I'm just why would I even write anything on this piece of paper? And the other day, I had a test. You know what? Shout out to the teacher who gave me a 3 essay test to do and come in. We had 2-hour delays this week, and she wanted us to come in at normal time to do a 3 essay test. No. Where do you think I'm pulling that motivation from? When did you think why? How could I even there's no motivation for me to do a simple 10-point assignment, let alone a 3 essay test. Absolutely not. I didn't do it. I hope this, you do your homework, please. Guys, get your grades in, be a good student. Please be a good student. But for me, it wasn't gonna happen. And it wasn't coming from a place of laziness. It just is prioritizing, this is not worth my 2 hours right now. I left and went and did other things. I dropped clothes off at Goodwill. Oh, I'm going through a huge decluttering kind of time of my life, especially because I'm going to college next year. I've kind of been looking at things and I'm like, am I going to take this with me? If not, why am I having it? Why do I have this thing? And with clothes, I took 2 trash bags full of clothes to Goodwill and dropped those off. Super easy, by the way. Highly recommend. If you have clothing to donate, take it to Goodwill because it was so fast and easy. And then I have some higher value items that I'm going to take to Plato's Closet and give to them because Goodwill is kind of everything that I don't want. And then when I have something that maybe I spent money on in the past, I have a nice skirt, I'm going to give to Plato's because even if I get a few dollars, maybe $1 or $2 back on that skirt for giving it to them, it's still contributing to secondhand clothing. Someone's getting something that has already been worn, which I'm so supportive of. If you've seen my fast fashion video, you know how much I hate fast fashion industry and everything like that. But also it makes me feel better because I'm not I'm getting some return, nothing, but back on something I spent money on. Anyway, I did that the other day. I've been just doing a bunch of little tasks, been kind of productive. I had a super unproductive day the other day, and now I'm just boom, 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 boom. I need to get back on my stuff. Also, filming this video feels very productive for me because I want to continue doing my YouTube videos. And also, I said this in my last video, but it's just going to be so cool to look back on me in periods of my life. To look back at this Scarlett. And what's crazy is how much growth happens all the time. Growth happens so much. I feel I'm a different person every month. And that's just probably how everybody feels. But it'll be so interesting to look back. And I'll probably I cringe so hard even at videos a few months ago. And I will cringe at this video so hard when I'm watching it in a few months. But that's okay. I still think it's important to put these out and share my experience in life with other people. What was I saying back? Because I really need to get back into routines that I like reading, doing my affirmations and gratitude. I really have an on and off love-hate relationship with meditation. I don't know why it feels hard to just start doing it, but it's really, really so beneficial, and I recommend it to everybody watching this video. But I really need to get back on my habit. As soon as I build a habit, I'm really good at keeping it. It's just that starting, and I need to read affirmations. I've been doing well with my health. I've been pretty consistent with working out and eating well, except I have my binge periods where I just eat and eat and eat. Maybe once I graduate, I'll be able to be completely transparent with you guys. Something about knowing that anybody from my school could watch this and know so much about me, and then I just casually pass them in the hallway is ill to me. And so once I'm free and I don't have to see them on a day-to-day basis, I'll probably be able to share much more about my life. And that, yeah. So coming soon in May. Also, earlier in the year, I was super down to do this video for my senior class. And then I totally stopped caring because I stopped coming to things and I stopped doing things because I don't have friends. And the next videos coming up are probably going to be a video about going to college, where I decided to go, that decision journey, everything about that. And then maybe I'm going to do some vlogs in May I'm going to a concert, and then I'm going to prom. So maybe those 2 vlogs are coming, but I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for letting me ramble and talk, and hopefully nothing came off bad in this video. But even see, why do I even have to apologize for that? Because I'm not meaning any bad intent. So hopefully